Hi, welcome back to our channel and our experience building a house in Palawan, Philippines. All right, so we are getting very close to finishing the project now. We started in February and we are on track with our schedule. We're actually a little bit ahead of schedule compared to what they predicted back in the beginning of the year. The project is still on budget, which is important. And the way we're gauging that is we're taking the estimated cost lists that our engineer and our architect gave us, and we're going line by line, and each item that they had identified on that estimate, we're comparing what we actually spent on those items to see if we're over budget or on budget or under budget for those particular ones. I should say that as we've gone through the project, we've decided to make sometimes upgrades and sometimes downgrades just to fit our budget. So in some cases, if you're going through and you had originally thought something would be a standard quality, but maybe just because it's a little bit more, you can increase that quality to something that's more luxury for a relatively small amount. Or you can make a small change that is really going to enhance your experience in the house for a certain amount of money. You can go ahead and do that upgrade if you think it's worth it. There are things that we've bumped into that we said we're going to make the upgrade, and then other items which are kind of balancing out those upgrades. There are things where we said this particular item is maybe not going to enhance our life that directly to justify the extra expense. So as you go through, you can watch your budget line items and decide whether you want to go over budget, kind of stay within the budget, or go under budget for whatever reason. Now, I should say that in our house, we are definitely going for the higher end. So we know that there is a lot of ways to build in the Philippines. We have family there, so we've seen all the way from a very informal way of building to our way, which is, you could call it almost the top level of formality. There is one level that's above what we're doing, which is to go with a professional construction company, which adds a lot more formality and expense that we were comfortable with, and we couldn't afford that. So we're staying at this higher formality level. So we have an architect, we have structural engineers and soil tests, all the things that your architect would typically recommend to you. We decided to upgrade on the AAC blocks instead of standard hollow block. We've, of course, included solar as well. So, but remember, there are a lot of ways to do houses in the Philippines. So if you want to go there on a budget, or you don't want to make the large investment there, remember, you can go probably get some kind of a design with no architect. We've heard of that happening. No structural engineering calculations. You can be your own general contractor. That is, you can manage the team by hiring only the subcontractors to do certain jobs. And you can, of course, choose more basic materials, or just the materials that get the job done. So really, you'd be asking yourself, what is the goal of my house? What can a very basic house make me happy in the Philippines? Or do I need something that has more features of perhaps an American house or a European house? So you really just have to get comfortable with whatever you're happy with. And luckily, if you don't need a lot of upgrades, you can actually build a house that's pretty inexpensive. We stumbled across some resort that had built A-frames. So this is really like two large pieces of roofing material in an A shape, and then inside, it looks like a regular apartment. And these can be, for example, an example of something which is much less expensive and easier to build, and not a whole lot of architectural calculations or structural calculations, I think, compared to different kinds of structures. So just plan the house that meets your budget, and then execute that house based also on your level of confidence that you need from your team. So if you really do need a big construction company, that was out of our budget completely. Once we found out how much they were bidding, it was basically almost doubling the cost. So it was out of the question for us. And then the same on the other side of the spectrum, where you have some kind of an informal design. You just get local subcontractors to build that for you, and then you kind of just go with the basic one. So just make sure you know what your goals are, and then and structure your project around those goals. The next item is about being on site. And in this project so far, We were on site for the first 2 or 3 months. We took 3 or 4 months off and now back on site again. So what we found that at the tail end of the time that we were not on site, we found that there was a lack of clarity. Things kept cropping up where we wouldn't understand what was happening. Even with the explanation of the local team there, we found that we didn't get clear understanding of what was going on. And plus, we had a lack of the eyes on the materials, or the eyes on the quality. And what you'll find is that when you're on site, you'll see something that's not apparent even if you're getting video tours like what we were doing from our architect for a few months. You'll find that those little things will become very apparent if you're on site. So we just felt that by staying off site, it was becoming too much of a liability, that the benefits of being off site, you're saving money, not renting in the local area, for example, that the amount of worrying that we were doing about how we didn't have clarity on things was starting to get so high that it didn't warrant us staying off site. There was basically no benefit because being off site was basically worrying every single day. So now we're back on site for the tail end of the project. So really, we kind of divided it up into thirds. I would say that when you're on site, you can definitely identify all the things that are problems and the issues that are cropping up. As I said, the quality of the work and the quality of the materials is much more apparent when you can stand in front of it and touch it. So overall, we're still sticking with our recommendation that if you're going to build a house in the Philippines, the majority of the time you should be there, because it's just going to decrease your level of stress and it's going to increase the chances of you getting the house that you really want, because people are making decisions without you. They may not communicate those things to you. So while you can build a house when you're off site, you will get there perhaps when you see the finished product. It's probably not going to be exactly what you envision, from perhaps some design or quality issues and so forth. So to get the house that you want, you should really be there the majority of the time. So factor that in if you're planning to do the construction project, that you can spend more than half of the time on site. So at this point in the project, we are getting close to the end. So we're purchasing finishing items, bathroom fixtures, appliances, lights in the last, say, month and a half or so. Like we said, make sure that you get these identified and ordered early enough so they're not going to hold up your project at the end, especially if they're shipping from Manila to wherever you are. For tiling, we purchased the tile, they were delivered, and right now the house is about 80% or 90% done with tiles, which we're really excited about. I also wanted to talk about local craftspeople for making items rather than going to the stores. So items that we're going to be doing custom on are doors, some or all of our furniture. We haven't decided the whole set yet, but we're looking at least a few pieces of furniture, like the sofa that we're doing as a custom craftsperson in the local area. There are cabinets for your kitchen, for your bathrooms, and then the wardrobes in your bedrooms. Those are cabinets that can be purchased from the store or done custom. Now, what we found was the amount of money for cabinets, for example, was so exorbitantly expensive that it made complete sense to get a reliable local person and understand their process and the materials that they used to make sure that it fit our purposes, and then just order that to be made locally. That would be us purchasing the materials and then paying that person for their labor to create those cabinets. For doors, it was just really a matter of the selection, and the same with the furniture. We found that since we're in Palawan, we have somewhat less of choice. You may find more in your local area of the Philippines, but we really found that purchasing these items from Wilcon Depot or from the local furniture suppliers, we couldn't quite get what we wanted anyway. And then when we went to the local craftspeople to make a sofa custom, for example, it was less expensive and it would be exactly what you want. So consider those local craftspeople in your area if you can get something made to the specifications that you want. So just make sure that you find that they're reliable, perhaps if they have connection to your team, to your architect, and make sure that you have a written agreement with them so you know what will be delivered and what you owe them, and how the deposits or the progress payments might be made on those items. And check to see if you will get what you want out of it in terms of the quality and the look. For our solar panels and the final wiring of those, we decided to wait until maybe the beginning of October to bring in the solar panels, because what we found is when there's work going on in the job site, a lot of materials and tools could fall down onto your solar panels. So we're really waiting to very close to the end of the project until we actually install those solar panels. First, because we don't need the power now, and second, just because you don't want to have something up there that could be damaged, then you have to go and replace that item before the project is finished. We're happy that we went solar. Our experience now with renting in Puerto Princesa is minimum $200, or around $200, I should say, would be the typical electricity payment. And so when you look at the price of the solar compared to paying the local utility forever, I think it's going to be a great payoff, just because the local utilities tend to be so expensive. Another item that we want to talk about is security and theft. So we got some minor items stolen from our workers at night. So we know that there was someone hanging around in the job site. And so aside from protecting the local workers' items, you want to protect the materials at your job site as well, and just prevent random trespassing from happening during the evening. So we have some security items that we've been planning, but it's not set up yet. So one is we have a big metal gate that's going to go on our wall, so that'll at least close off the perimeter gate. That's being fabricated but not installed yet. Our wireless CCTV is going to be installed. Again, that's probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks on the job site. And then we just went out and ordered on our own from Lazada these solar motion detector lights, because we think that, especially in our area where we have kind of woods surrounding the property and some open areas, there's definitely going to be people walking up to the outside of your perimeter wall. So we thought, just to keep them away from being able to hide in shadows and behind the wall area, we get motion detector lights, and thankfully they have solar ones. So Lazada has some very good ones. You can check those out, and then keep people even from getting close to your property. And finally, Lazada also has these spikes. They have like very large spikes and medium spikes, whatever you want, which will just make jumping over your wall that much more difficult. They look pretty cool, so it looks like a nice design, rather than I know there's some other approaches where you put broken glass up there or whatever, but this seems like it's going to be very spiky and very good deterrent effect for folks who might want to jump the wall. I would say that one of the items that you should consider is we're going in maybe a little bit late, like maybe we're going in 3 weeks late with our security items. If you have the brain power or the planning skills to get that installed as soon as your perimeter wall is up and start to make a secure area for the construction to continue, you might consider that, just because what we went through was having someone slinking around on the job site. We didn't get any materials stolen, but I could easily see that if someone was very sneaky, they could actually steal some of the materials, and then of course you just have to go out and repurchase those materials, and who knows if they're even available. So I would say that security item is should be maybe a little earlier on your project plan than it was on ours. And the last item I wanted to talk to you about was property or homeowners insurance. So I realized that our investment is increasing in that house and in the structure. And so what you have is a lot of this money being invested, and it's just sitting out there on a hill in Palawan. And then if anything happens to that, regardless of what it is, your investment is really just sitting out there. So whatever happens to it, it's going to be gone, and that's the same thing as your money being gone. So we've been shopping for homeowners insurance just to get any kind of a protection. Even if we get like a catastrophic protection for a smaller premium, at least there'll be somebody backing you up. If there were to be some kind of a mishap, you wouldn't lose 100% of all of your investment there. The companies we're talking to is Malayan Insurance, one called FPG Insurance. There's AXA Insurance, Prudential Guarantee Insurance, and BPI, that's the bank BPI, they apparently have insurance as well. So you could do online quotes of some kind, but it's a very cumbersome process, I found. Sometimes they're asking you to upload a lot of different documents, and really what we wanted to do was have a conversation about the packages that are available and the premiums that they charge. So the online options weren't really working out for us. So we're really just getting on the phone with them and having discussions. So we're asking them for their Viber or their WhatsApp phone number so we can get in touch with them and have conference calls about what they offer, what it costs, just to get something in place. Because I think the big danger is that you have nothing in place and now you just have a pile of materials out there that you paid for that you'll never get any reimbursement for, to the other extent where at least you have some kind of a blanket protection. At least you could even change it in the future if you just want to get something in there sooner rather than later. You could even choose a different insurance at a later time. So that's all the updates for September 2025 on our house in Palawan. Thank you again for following along with our story. Please like and subscribe. Take care.
So this is the house, what looks like now. This is the whole entire room now. It's completely done with the tiles. This is the second room. That's what it looks like. And that's the other room. They're not done yet because they have to we have to order more tiles. The swimming pool almost done. And then that's the jacuzzi. I think tomorrow they'll be done with the tiles here. This is the water here. So they're testing it if there's a holes under it. It should have a water test for 1 or 2 days at least, the longest. I mean, you could go longer, but I think 1 to 2 days it should be okay. It is, they are putting the WPC on a ceiling. There, it looks really nice now. So that's what it looks like. Here they are tiling the balcony. This one here is like all done, and it's just that some of the tiles are damaged. So here, so we have to exchange this, all of the damage. And here they're all finishing the tiles here too, in a balcony. Here the extension of the swimming pool pump storage area. So this is for the water storage tank. So that one, it used to be a wall, and they removed that wall, and then because they have to make the new one here. It's an extension, and then so they can put the water tank here, and it's easily accessed. So that's what the house looks like now. So this is what looks like our master bathroom now. It's all tiled. And I love that niche. That size of that niche. This is what looks like the master bedroom. The lanai, all tiles. The balcony, I mean. All tiles. All tiled now. And this is what looks like here, the balcony. And then this is what the hallway of the second floor. And this is the bedroom one. Bedroom one, what looks like now. And this is the common bathroom. It's leaking. So that's the problem, it's leaking. But it's because they had to demolish the wall on the rooftop. So that's what would happen. But anyway, it's all tiled in. And this is the second bathroom. And there's the leaking. That's where the leakage coming from. The rooftop. It's because they are removing the wall on a rooftop and then try to change it to a what is it? The hip roof. And the rooftop, let's go to the rooftop. Rooftop. So this is what I was trying to say. That one, they're removing the parapet wall that connected to that wall, and they will just make it like extend that roof so that way the water, it goes directly down there, not like blocking the water when there's a wall here. So that's what would happen now. And the rooftop, it's all tiled. And also the utility room. They're all sleeping. The utility room. And this is what looks like the thing right now. It looks like it might rain again. But anyway, that's the view. And downstairs, pool. There, I see the deck now. It's all tiled. And the swimming pool. So yeah, that's what looks like the progress of the house now. Then this is the ground floor AC. So we have two ACs here in the ground floor. There's another one there. Because the architect recommended to have two ACs here. Split AC. That one, it's a 3 horsepower. And that one also. And this one here, lanai tiles. They're all almost finished. Almost finished with this lanai tiles. I think they have to do this tomorrow. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is the foyer. When you enter the foyer, there's the half bathroom. It's done. that's done. The pipe, the big pipe, I think this is for the, I'm not sure, but it might be for the French drain, because that one they're putting a lot of holes in it. So far this is the biggest one, so it might be that one for like all the pipes from here all the way to the side. Here's the lights. We are installing the pergola lights, and that's what it looks like. And they finally finished all the tiles here and all the way there in the back, and then he's putting the skim coat. There. This one needs to be tiled. Oh, raining. This is what it looks like when it's raining. Look, the swimming pool. There's water from the rain. Free water from the rain. And our new roof almost finished. Okay, this is what it looks like now. All they have to do is just cover it, put the roof, and then it's good to go. It's still a mess. It's completely tight. So I want to look here in this side. And this is our new roof. Yay. So we don't have to deal with the leakage. Because the old one, the one that we had to redo it because the architect tried to put the different design for this, and then we got some kind of leakage. That is the reason why we had to repeat it and design a new roof. So that's what it looks like now. It wasn't the square anymore. I think it was rectangle because it's all the way. It used to be like only from this area all the way to the end, and then kind of like a square look. And then now this is completely different. It's like a hip roof now. So that's what it looks like. So I think tomorrow they'll be finishing with this and try to put a new roof. And then we can put all of the solar from that top there all the way to the other side in this area here. So yep, that's what it looks like, the roof. And they are doing some digging some soil down there so they can start making the driveway from that side all the way down there. And then that next to the swimming pool, it's a terraces boxes to put where all the plants. And then they're almost done with that gate. They are actually making that right now down there. So yeah. So that's the new update for the roof. And I think all they have to do is more sanding on a wall and then outside and inside. And there's the lanai tiles almost done. And yeah, it's all like painting and lighting. There's some lights now there too. So I think it's gonna be done soon. I cannot wait. They're all done with the frames of the door. This is the master bedroom. And this is going out in a hallway. And then mostly of the door frames here are done. See that one? Looks really nice. I like this color. The color, it's really nice. And the ceiling here in a common bathroom, it's almost, well, actually it's done, and then just the tiles a little bit left. Yeah. And the ceiling here almost done too, and a bedroom too, because they're done with the roof up there. The new roof. Oh, I can't wait for them to finish it. So here they are done with this hip roof. And there's a flashing here now. They put flashing all the way down there to here. This is what looks like the lanai from the steps tiles. And this one here too. Oh wow, there's a tiles here now, and dirty kitchen tiles. And this is our 2 water tanks. It's a 1.5 each gallon. And this is the lanai tiles now, almost done. Oh, that jacuzzi, it's full of dirty water now. Here's the gate. They're putting that one door here on that small gate. And the next one, I think they might put that big one here. So it's good. I am excited to see the gate. So there they are starting to put the big gate door now. And there's more. Hopefully they will start it soon. There's the light now. That's what it looks like now. So we bought those 4 bulbs, so it can be like bright, because yesterday there's no light in this house. It looks like really dark. So now there's light.